Hello, comrades. It's Premier Rever back again, looking down on the massive construction project that is Neuve Revergrad. Sometimes I'm having one of those moments, where you go in life and some days you feel really good, and other days you just feel overwhelmed by life, and in the game at least, not necessarily in my real life, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. Well, that's right, this is a tennis court. Well, we can get his little footpath going, right? We do want to get sports down here. That wasn't what I was planning on. Oops, if I can click the right button. Oh, then the save games. Yeah, I guess we'll just put one there, right? There you go. We got a footpath to build. So I have spent probably an hour in between the episodes, just really clicking on things and keeping people busy, and then straightening out the train situation over here so that we can get into here and start constructing on this other thing. I do have this construction project which will let us get over to here, so I had to make a bunch of this stuff two-way again, which was a bit disappointing morally. Maybe that's one of the reasons I'm feeling the way I am, right? Yeah, because we get like this kind of going on, like I take away that signal to try to see if this will work, and then next thing you know, they're jammed up again. It's just, it's just the nature of the construction vehicles. Now, one of those two will disappear. Good. I'd rather it be the returning vehicle disappears, but, we can try to put a signal back in or just leave that alone and let them... Yeah, let's just leave it alone altogether and just see if they crash into each other. They'll disappear. I was hoping they would be smart enough to try not to go back in the one way, like apparently he wasn't, but yeah, so they seem to be, some of this is now has to be two-way because I got rid of the crisscross here. So, yeah, but most of it can be one way, but we'll see. But it's just a matter of fighting with it. This guy's made his way all the way around, so that's pretty good. I'm not 100% sure how I'll get him over to the other side, but I think I'm just going to build a little, like a crisscross here, a temporary one type thing where he can get in and start doing this. Well, he needs to go back the opposite flow of these. So I guess I should put the crisscross like where he won't tend to interfere with these guys too much, right? Yeah, it's like we could put it like here, and then he can get in on this track, and look, this is still electrified rail. Yeah, anyway, that's another thing I did, and that's probably, well, we could start here. It doesn't matter. I have a few things in mind for what we can work on, and it's been, doing the electrified rail thing over again has been quite frustrating because I had to go and relay just, all of those rails that I had planned. But it's also been good because it's, sometimes you think you had a wonderful idea, but then it really wasn't so great in the long run. And I think we could do better here. Now, I don't want to delete these because I deleted this one and I couldn't get it back underneath, so I had the easiest way without tearing this bridge down was just to back to the auto save, right? So I lost a tiny bit of progress, but at least, I don't want to mess with these at all if I can help it. But what I want to do here is I realize, in order to get more than one train in here, I could use like an in-feed staging area, if that makes sense. So it would be nice. This is why I tended to want to loop the other side. But what I want to do is create another, like tracks like this, so that we can at least have we can have a train waiting on the inbound here, right? And then the train can still get outbound, so that we can have a train waiting here, boom, comes right in, so that we keep this flowing as well as possible. Because I can just see that just the ability to only have one train in on, particularly, it made me think about this one. There was only be one way to get a train in here, right? Without jamming up the whole works. Like if a second train tried to come to this warehouse, nobody else could get back out, or whatever the case was. So what I would like to do is sort of, do it more like this, where each one of these has two. So, yeah, so how are we going to do that? I think we need to, we don't necessarily need to get rid of this line, but I think we need to move these over, right? So in other words, can we get another train parallel to this one? And we could just do it from right here for the minute, just to make sure it can be built. You know, and we'll get it. Yeah, might as well go all the way. Right? Yeah, so see, now when we have that, instead of this guy coming in, now the other question is, which way? No, I'd rather keep them, even if they have to cross each other, I would rather keep it where the right-hand side was the in. I don't think it ultimately makes any difference. So this would be the way this guy comes in. So let's just see how this, I haven't thought this through completely, but I've got the concept in my head. Right, why is that at a funny angle? There we go. So let's get rid of, we don't want to delete this too much, right? That's, we can't get, probably can't get back under there. So we'll try to see, can we get a regular track? Yes. So this guy can come back in, and then I would assume the left-hand most track would be the back out, right? So this guy could definitely stage like a couple vehicles here if we kept it this way. And then this guy, this would be the in for this guy, right? We kind of have a lot of, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? Let's delete this. I'd like to make it, oh, okay, that's why it's another job. I didn't notice this thing here. All right, let's take this off of there, right? And we'll get rid of those extra nodes in this line. But it wasn't really extra nodes, it was just me. So really, this doesn't need to go that far, right? And we can run it a little bit extra long now, because this would be the in for this guy. So let's just run this long. And then we want to get rid of this a little bit. Again, not too much. Right, and then this would need to come over to here. Right, so that he can get in this way, and then we can delete this bit of track, I think. Can we get this guy to go? Yes, there we go. So this is going to be our outbound track, which means this guy should hook up to here. Right, so as they come out, they can go out this track, and then we'll have to have like crossing here, but then we can delete this bit. Right, does that make sense? So now this guy has this whole area up to wherever this guy comes in. So what I think I'd like to do, yeah, I can't delete too much of this track, but let's delete this. And I'm going to get rid of these extra nodes. So now we have, this is our outbound track. So here's what I'm thinking now. Let's get rid of this. Right, and then we put an inbound track for this guy, just to picture what's happening. And I'd like to bring it over as tight to here as I can get it. There you go. So now the question is, now you know what we would do? Yeah, that's plenty of room for a train, to at least one train. So this guy could have two trains sitting there. I'm not necessarily worried about two trains sitting there, but let's take, yeah, let's break this guy and get rid of him, and we're going to get rid of this again, even though I just put it in. And this guy can switch over here, right? Because it'll be out of the way of this. And then this guy is going to come as tight as he can and be his own track. Now, are you going to let me build that? Yeah. Right? Does that make sense? Because now what we want to do is see how tight can we turn. That's pretty tight. That's more tight than I need. That's good though, because now what I'm thinking about is we take our outbound track, right, and we can cross it here. We can rejoin up in a minute, right, like over here, but then can this guy, yep. Now, let's start screaming out. We got overpasses every which other way, right? Yeah, and I could see a day. So could we get, well, I don't want to bust it up now, but I hate, like, you know, we have these Well, see, and part of this is because I realized we'd have waiting trains. So we're going to have waiting trains here. So before we actually build this track, but after we have better road things, because this is how everybody's getting in and out of this construction over here, I want to make an overpass here. You know what? Let's design the track a little bit more, and then we'll see. And then we'll see. Come on, go where I want you to. All right, so this is... Yeah, join back up with this guy. So this is the outbound track. And I don't want... You know, this train can't sit like here. So I'm going to have like a signal back here. So let's make sure this is kind of plenty long enough before this guy joins back up with him, right? Because we need to join those two, well, the right-hand tracks, these two right here. But that should be from here. Yeah, that's getting close. All right, so let me see. The next thing we need to do is, I had that big goofy loop around, and I got rid of that because I realized, you know what, we're just better off making like a semi-regular intersection. And fortunately, this one we can delete. Now, this is just a one-way coming out. Now, why did we... Okay. Let's put you back just before we forget. Not sure what happened there. I guess it was my moment of inspiration, right? Yeah, so all of this has been switched. This is what I started doing, was switching this electrical over here, and then I got around to here and got inspired to make changes. So now, this is going to be... an, like, I guess it doesn't... Well... It would be better if it was an outbound track, right? Yeah, see, like, this crosses just so that they can do their construction and get back to the other side of the road. So that we can delete this one down the road. There's a little crisscross there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Or cross. It's not a criss and a cross, it's just a cross. So then this guy needs to make sure he can get back going that way, right? And... this means it's going to be the left-hand side track. So what I'd like to... Well, you know what? I'd like to delete this a little bit more. And see, can we... Yeah, cheat him even further this way because it'll help with this guy. So this guy's also going to be an outgoing track, right? So let's bring this guy down a little bit more. Like, say, there might be good for... Then this guy kind of needs to join up with him because this is our outbound track. And then we're going to need this guy to come around. Yeah, let's straighten you out a bit. Like that. And then... Ah, very nice. Doesn't that look nice? So that means we need to get this guy will be our inbound track, right? So let's just bring him up to about here. Yeah, see, that's going to be... Like, I really don't mind if we kind of max this out, right? Oop, what happened there? Ah, okay. Well, you know what? You can join up. Well, you know, go as far as you can. When I know you want to be green there. Yep, there we go. So that's good enough, right? As long as we can get like 2 trains in there, that means we're going to have... That's a lot of food flowing in and out of here, right? 6 train loads of food. But if you can see, you know, here's our outbound track. Kind of cuts across things, a little bit ugly, but it does keep... What do we got here? We don't want you. There you go. A little bit ugly in the way it comes in, but we got... Yep, each one can get to the outbound track. Outbound comes in, meets up with this outbound, and outbound goes that way. Now, can we get this guy, hopefully not too sharp a turn? Ah, you bugger. All right, so let's just, for now, let's get rid of this. Because we want an inbound into here, right? So let's just see. Yeah, we got the delete tool. We don't really need much of a straight there. Getting a straight in after these junctions is good because you can put in a signal, but yeah, so we want to get you like that, and then you can just follow. And then same thing, because we don't know which direction these food trains are going to go, and I don't think it's not going to hurt the planet. Let's get rid of these signals so they're not, because they can cause you problems when it comes to. Yeah. So which one's going to be tighter? I don't know. Let's do this one from like here. Okay, you'll work. Will you work? Should. Oh, did you see that slowness? That was weird. All right, there we go. So now I think we should put back in a signal just for the construction purposes, if nothing else. And I'll put signals here too, just so that, yeah, I probably should put one like there. Good. So if trains are in here, they should be able to work on it with those little extra signals we did. Plus, I've learned when you have real long stretches without any signals, you end up, you know, you get a red signal from something that's all the way over here. Oh, look, I see a little question mark moving back and forth. But there you go. What do you guys think? I think that's a minor yet significant improvement, right? Like, just because now we can get 2 trains in, or, you know, a train in staging, we send 2 trains here. And I think the back and forth will help a good amount. I don't imagine these guys are going to be producing faster than 2 trains can handle it. But if that's the case, we just might have to deal with that one way or the other. We can maybe expand this out a little bit further, right? You could even have longer queuing somehow, maybe. But we'll see. I'm not gonna sweat it too much at this exact instant. And if that's our limit, I guess maybe that's our limit. But I don't think it would have to be. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So this should be all converted over to back to the regular track. Hopefully we don't have, I don't see a train up here working very diligently, but you know what? He has completed some of this electrical track. So we'll have to go see if he stopped working because of that. Now, why are you flashing at me? I thought no, both of you are. So we must have a signal issue going on. Yeah, let's open this up. Yeah, why do we have... Yeah, I don't know why. I thought I changed... Oh, you know what? No, that wouldn't make sense. Oh. Okay, I thought I crashed. I just must have missed that one, making those... Now, is that signal red? No, it's red the other way. Yeah, because... Why is that red? Oh, there, because this guy was in there. Okay, good. Yeah, so now the only problem we'll have is head-to-head at signals. But good. This guy, yeah, this guy can get out of there now. Yep, he lost. He probably had a question mark too. Now, more important, you know what? Let's. Yeah, so he's working on 2. You know what? It's probably easier just to do this. Cancel that because he's far enough into here that I can reassign this job. Oh, we only have 2 jobs for these guys. Okay. Well, let's, yep, now we see before, if you remember, if you watched the last episodes, I forget which one, probably the last one, you know, we couldn't assign this right here. So now we can, because I built this crisscross here, or cross, and now we can get in here. And then once we get far enough into here, I can do another crisscross and then turn this back to one way. I said one way a lot. I mean, you know, 2 tracks, each going one way. That's too much to say, though. So if I call them one way, please forgive me. All right, so now we still have this guy. Yeah, what do we want to work on the most? I mean, yeah, let's send him up to do like this, because I'd like to get out of this intersection here if we can. Good. And this is what the last hour and a half now, whatever it's been, has been like. You know, just going around and saying, hey, there's a lot of trucks parked there. Why is that? Oh, by the way, yeah, we were just assigning buildings over here. So we got the technical university being worked on. So I'm not quite sure why he has so many buildings sitting there, or trucks sitting there, but that's okay. He's got 3 jobs. We'll worry about it later. This guy, yeah, I wanted him to finish some of these. It's not that it was bad that he had a lot listed, so I'm going to let him go. And then this guy, he's plugging away. Okay, he got this road done, so I'm gonna have him work on getting us into town here with this road. Yeah, I kind of hate to build these. Does he have covered haul? No, he doesn't. All right, well, you know what? We're going to get him. You see, like, if this is one of those roads, so I need to get him a covered haul if we're gonna do this. Do we have? No, I don't think there's a good cover haul. No, just that little guy. All right, so covered haul. That's good. All right, so now he should be able to work on this road fully and get that completely done. And then the one thing I did do is I plopped a firehouse down here. So he's working with, you know, really as much as anything to get this firehouse built, or at least road access. And then we have these guys should, yep, good. They're at least showing some signs of progress. It's not exactly real fast, but I need to get this track built, you know, along the same time I get this, because until I get the gravel over here, this guy's going to be pretty useless. So this other rail yard's doing this, and I'd like to move people in here. You know, why don't we? Like, because if nothing else, they can start working on all of this stuff, and if they're not very efficient because they're driving all over, that's okay too, right? So for now, you know, I don't want to end up with so many dumpers, but let's make this guy like a regular construction, right? So he's going to want one covered haul. We're going to want, yeah, we'll just say, where's the big dumper? 2 dumpers. We're going to want, let's just put one. Oh, look, we got so many, I can't even get to my favorite. Yeah, we want the big one. I want to leave this excavator in here. And so what else do we need? We need mixer. No, we don't need paver. Is this the big one? No, 11. 12. Well, a few of these do 12. Is there one that's... This guy goes 95, but only... Yeah, this guy goes 87, only 9 tons. Yeah, you know what? Let's get this guy, even though he doesn't... He's a lot faster. And since this guy's pretty remote... Do we want 2 mixers? Yeah, why not? All right, what else do we need? We're going to need a tower crane. If we get a tower crane, then we definitely need an open haul. Yeah, let's get a tower crane, because open haul is good to have anyway. Maybe even 2 open haul. And this guy does like 9 tons. Yeah, this is the big one. Let's get 2 open hauls, and then we need to get at least a bus, right? Probably... Yeah, and this is the fastest, most passenger carrying bus as far as I know. And we definitely want the fastest because that'll cut down on their overall time. Now, yeah, I mean, we could probably get rid of somebody there. We don't have a depot right here, but at least, like I said, even if they're not the most efficient, we can at least do... Yeah, how's your paving going to be? Yeah, we need to get you to pave, don't we? Well, even if it's painfully slow, we'll deal with it. All right, so let's go. We never even assigned this guy, did we? All right, so let's say you're going to get your steel. I'm truly worried about these guys being able to, these trucks keeping up with the trains and the steel. Like, in other words, not this, but for the... You know, for the rail construction. I don't think this is going to really work. But I want to do it, you know, as a bit of an experiment. All right, so we can't get these things. We have to go back here to get these things. So we'll come over to here, and we'll get gravel and all set up first. So there's gravel. And, no. Yeah, asphalt and concrete and people. Let's just go see. Who looks like they have more people? You do. Alright, so we should have everything we need. And at least, so we got another construction yard. Got another construction yard going, right? Yeah, so what do you... Okay, you sent out somebody. I hope. Did you send out your dumpers? Yeah, no, yeah, we sent the dumpers out. What are you? Okay, so we don't even need 16 tons. So is there something else we can get you to work on? No, you can't do that. Well, you know what? We could probably get you to... You know, it won't be real graceful, but again, let's just keep people... There you go. It's not going to hurt to have you doing two things. And this guy got two things again. Yeah, so he's just taking a long time to build this road, but he's doing it. And then I guess we accidentally auto-built this last time, which isn't breaking my heart at this moment. I want to get up here, get this firehouse built over here. Oh, thank you. And then, how about you? Okay, oh, one other thing that I did in between the episodes was I replaced this steel bridge with a concrete bridge so that this guy would be better at working on it with the dumpers and the mixers. So, or actually prefab panels, right? No, concrete bridge, yeah. So he's going to need a lot of concrete, which is good. So I don't think it matters. It really fit right in the same place. And then the other thing, the real reason I did that was also because I don't want to use any more steel than we need to. So while I really like the way those steel bridges look, you know, I mean, this is pretty cool in my opinion compared to this. It's just not, it's not real realistic to use up all that steel. Now, speaking of steel, yeah, this is, can we, railway construction crane, road 7, which one's road 7? This one, there you go. Yep, and that's the exact kind of thing you face, is this them coming head to head with each other. But it's better than not getting any construction done. And soon, it won't be that long before we can... I think that guy was probably coming from here, right? Well, who knows? Why is this all... Oh, are you out of workers? Okay, so no, he wasn't coming from there. He was probably coming from... I don't know where he was coming from. Wherever Road 7 was. Maybe here? Well, no, he was on the right side of the tracks, wasn't he? Anyway, yeah, keep building that one. We need to get that done. Good. All right, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Let's go down here before we... Yeah, Hegiodal. Oh, you only have one road left over here. I've been kind of focusing on trying to get all these roads done since we moved those extra construction crews in, and there's just, you know, a lot of little jobs. There you go. Good. We can get that one done. That doesn't need to be done ever. There you go. That's plenty for you for a little while. That was Hegiodal. Now let's focus on the roads for a minute. While we're over here, does this guy have 4 assignments? No. So what I decided to do was sort of focus on getting this done, right? With 2 of them. So, yeah, 2 of these guys are still in this distribution. This guy's over at the food factories. So we need to find something else for this guy to do. Oh, look, you're driving back and forth. Oh, yeah, look at you guys. What are you... Oh, because you probably did like a goofy go back the other direction thing, huh? So what is your assignment? You are assigned to 15. I kind of caught the 1 there. Yep, there we go. So now this guy can get in there. So let's assign another one over here. So I kind of want to just get this done and out of our hair. Oh, yeah, these are still all electrical. That's fine. So now you have 2 of those to work on. You, yeah, I hope you don't go insane on me too. Do we have one? We shouldn't have a one-way situation in here. I guess it was just because they had the 2 trains going. All right, so now, yeah, where is the guy going to the food factories? Is he over there now? Well, he made some progress. I don't know if he's heading back or what he's doing. He should be going on the regular track. You know what we're going to do? We're going to cancel this just so we know. I've learned in life sometimes it's easier just to cancel the darn project and come back and, yeah, you were working on this one. Why don't you finish that one before you do something else? Now at a certain point here, we could probably get them to start working on some little bit different things, but I was going to have the guy work on this, but then I realized, you know what, let's just wait till we get this guy fired up. So I think what he can try to do, even though it's going to add to our one-way mess up here. Nope, don't build that. There you go. Try to come up here and do this, right? Like he should be able to get in there. Do we have... Yeah, we have the crisscross here. So yeah, he should be able to get in there and work on it and come back on the right way. The only problem is when the guy that's coming here to go work on one of these... Well, this one, they should have the crisscross, so they should be okay here, too. Yeah, you know what I should probably do, just to help them stay on the right side. Let's see. I'm going to chain signal this out, and I'm going to regular signal this in. So hopefully that'll keep at least these guys using their crisscross. Right, especially as he gets this done, because then he'll be... Yeah, he should be able to come back, and that'll force him to the right side, which will cut down on the problems. And it'll just be this guy that we need to get far enough in here I can do another crisscross. All right, good. So let's do a little bit of designing, even though that's kind of in some ways the last thing we need, right? And I would like to sort of design first. What I did in between the episodes, while it was build a nice... Here, let's put on the wireframe. You guys can see a nice steep, you know, it's all orangish, but I made sure, you know, there was nothing red, where we can come over here. And then I ran out of levelability because we need another construction office over here. And I was kind of looking up at this corner and said, well, boy, if we, like, I didn't really build a full construction office here, right? We just have the little storage, and we'll have decent gravel in this area. But if you look at our past plans, we have quarries planned for here. So I'm thinking that, you know, this will be a good place to provide by train like a full construction office, right? But I think we could start out like, say, right here. Let me pause it. Hopefully we have our excavator and everything we need. And if not, I might pause the recording for a second. So let's come over to like here. Now, I know this is a bit of a hill, which makes it a little hard to get things in and out of. But for now, if we could just get a construction office over here and a gas station, we can at least do more building leveling, right? So this isn't necessarily about, not building leveling, but just we can do more. I was thinking of building leveling it the rest of the way. Yeah, so that kind of raised that up a little high. Let's bring a road. Yeah. Turn it colors, and then I'll turn red or yellow. Yeah, let's try this again. We're gonna go from like right here. All right, now we'll building level it. But if we go up to the right building, so we'll just get a construction office. I think I should be able to building level right here, right? Yeah, something like that. And then we can't do a gas station this way. We can come over here. Let's zoom in a bit. Since we don't really know which way this guy will go. Good. So now what we want to do is get a regular asphalt road, and we'll keep it to one side here, right? Just so we can get our tracks on the other side. Well, that would kind of be nice to... Yeah, we'll... Seems like a bit of a hill right here. So this is the worst part when you got these... You know what we're going to do? We're going to back that up a little bit just so we don't... There you go. let's go from here to here, just so that the train track is on a similar plane. There we go. All right, so we're going to try to keep this guy like tight up this way. So we come right straight through the path, and then we'll, once we're out of that pass, we'll head over this way pretty strongly, to the point we even level a little more of this. And why don't we make a turn like in this neighborhood? And we'll have a road that let's make sure that looks even slightly straight. Can I go one more over? I guess it's, you know what, I will go back to this one. I think that looks a little bit more, yeah, so, yeah, just make sure these will attach. Yep. Yeah, if they're too close, they do that jump over thing. All right, so now what I want to do is get this down this way some. And then let's switch over to rail, right? We're just going to put regular rail in, though of course we'll electrify it at some point. And I kind of want to keep this far to the other side. Right, let's just get it through. Oh yeah, you know, oh that's right. We wanted to turn this way some, yeah. Because we have a nice big open area here. And I didn't want to go like right through the middle of that open area. So we'll just bring this guy like to here, because we'll probably start a turn in this neighborhood, right? Because we already have this big flat, so I thought bring it like right down here. All right, so that's good enough. But what that'll let us do is, yeah, I think I'll just keep that. Well, we might want a road going that way, right? Why don't we keep this guy a little bit off, even though it's not dead straight, right? There we go. So now what I'd like to do, yeah, see that I kind of threw this off too, didn't it? Maybe we can, you know, it wouldn't hurt to redo this, would it? Let's go back to here. We're gonna get rid of that little jobby as well. We'll leave that alone for the minute. Yeah, we'll keep heading like, you know, kind of, I think that's sort of straight. Come on. There we go. Yeah, let's cut this back some more. Good, I'm glad I did this before we build all that. And so this guy can come in. No, I don't like that. Sometimes you can get an idea. Yeah, I'd rather do like that. Sweeping-ish turn. There we go. Yeah, that's a long enough section. And then what we should probably do is put, just so these aren't causing a problem with our construction guys. Yeah, well, see, if we don't put a signal here, which is fine because we didn't create a node, right? If you don't box these out, it just feeds back on itself and you can't do anything. See, like even this not having a signal up to there is a problem, because if a train's on either one of these tracks, it's going to block the whole thing up. But we'll worry about that later. All right, so let's commit to it. There, so we got a little bit more. Now, the other thing that I would like to do is, this is like a pretty good level spot, right? So I was thinking, why don't we bring a train, we'll start on the other side here and bring that what I think will end up straight looking. Yeah, like right there. Right, and then we'll bring this guy. Can I get that guy? Hopefully I didn't miss. That looks good. Yeah, so this will be the tighter one. So let's see about getting this set up first. There we go. All right, so now any trains that want to come back out of here, at least we got, we might have more tracks, but if nothing else for construction purposes, this is a start. So we might even end up with more of them this way. Now, once again, I don't really want to cut off our only road for construction, but at some point I need to think about the fact we have this whole corridor coming down this way, right? And I never really leveled this corridor out, so this might all go. It sort of depends on, at this point with this intersection, where are they going to go to get in and out of this loop? Like, in other words, the only thing I plan on trains doing here is bringing some supplies in and out, right? Like more to and from the constructions. So to show you the big plan again, and maybe we can go by with our little bulldozer tool and, so the plan, or the thinking anyway, is that we come, like down this way and around based on, like, see, we have distribution one. So do we have like, we probably will have a city here. Like we have a flat area up here, but we'll have like another one of those distribution hubs with mostly the intention of, getting construction supplies up in this area and also getting, more importantly almost is food and the things that people need up here. So maybe we would bring this down around this way a little bit more, leave more room for quarries. Now, I don't know if we'll just have like one town over here, but then we'll come down here, probably, we'll see. I have cement written over here, so I mean, yeah, like, do we have, man, see, we're going to have other stuff coming this way. So we're going to have kind of a debate on whether we build bridges across here, right, past where I have the cement written there. Let's go slowly so we can make these. I got it paused. I don't, you know what? We don't need to be paused. I love to pause, don't I? Or do we come around this way, right? Now, the advantage to coming around this way, like, and maybe we do both in the long run. But see, remember we were looping in and out of here? So when I talk about, I'm not sure how much I'm going to use this rail corridor, we could get the, and remember all my convoluted planning here, as far as, or I don't want to, it's not fair to say convoluted. It was all perfectly executed planning, I hope. We can get iron and coal to come out this way. Like, so we don't need to go this way. So if that's true, then what? We would have electronic parts, plastic, mechanical components at this point would be the only things coming out of here. Except for, yeah, because again, steel, I keep saying iron, but I mean steel. Steel and coal could come out this way and join up with whoever needed it over here. So, and join up with this big circle. Now, by the way, this big circle of supply chains would end up coming, let's, one way or the other across here, or, oops, that's not the right tool. So we would have this. So even if we did like cut over that way, we would, it's a little hard to do it with the AW, somehow we might, come across the bridge again, because this is where we'll pick up cement, right? So we can have cement distribution coming from there. And then look, it looks like they had something along here, but we might take a more direct path, whatever. And then we'd end up coming past this one. Now, one of the things cement needs is coal. So we're going to have at least a coal plant, one coal mine at least over here. But we'll have bricks. So we would have something, probably just a spur or something maybe coming up through this way, right? Where's Bricktown? A little further than I was thinking as I was backing up. All right, so we could have a spur line coming over to here to pick up bricks, and then who knows what we'll do. This is a ways down the road, right? And when it comes to these coal mines, I don't really know what we're going to do. Are we going to take the coal out of here and put it onto what I'm considering like our coal, our coal belt loop? It sort of depends on how much excess we have as these get more and more fired up, right? If we find out that between the power plants we want and all, we don't have enough coal, the bottom line is I'm going to plan it, leave enough room, if nothing else, that we can kind of do a similar coal thing if that other one works out well, where we can, process the coal here, but then put it on a train and have it add the coal to the coal loop for the rest of it. And we could also probably put some power plants over here, which would cover, picture we have power plants here, right? And then we have power plants over here, more or less. And then we would have power plants here. And what I like about that, even though we're moving a bunch of coal around, is if one part of the grid, if one area has a problem, it's not going to necessarily affect every other area, right? Like, in other words, this area will have all its power. It might tend to feed over here more. And then we'll have this distribution, by the way. So that's enough of talking about the power, obviously. But so if we let's go back to our destruction tool. So remember, we're over here coming by with a train rail. And, maybe I don't know, we'll work out the exact details. Yeah, I don't necessarily need to go over that mountain, so maybe we will follow this river bank thing. But then I would have another distribution area here, and it wouldn't, necessarily have trucks, but we would talk about getting through. We might even build a tunnel, who knows. It sort of depends on what we do with the houses over here, but I would picture this distribution being like the main distribution for Revergrad, right? So this is where we'd bring all the food in. Maybe we do it through a tunnel, but maybe we just cut through the hill. Certainly a lot easier in game time to cut through the hill, but we still have a lot more designing here to go. And we also have these trains that we can supply in the meantime. So this is also where, we'd probably have, maybe another rail construction, another construction office here. Now, as far as making this a loop goes, I really haven't had some overly satisfying thing. But, like, in other words, I don't really want to cut the train right through here. So as far as making it a loop, I'd want to be at least over this far. So there's, if you come over here and look, you kind of want to tend to go this way, right? Just because it looks like it's a little narrow until you run into this, and then you're all the way over at the border. But maybe that is what we do, right? Is come from here, somehow staying away. Yeah, see, I'd still want to get through like here, I think. Even though it might be, a lot of leveling. So we come from this distribution and we just cut across those hills. And then we decide what we do here, right? And on the other side of here is the coal mines and stuff. So it's if we built more power plants and stuff here, like, it doesn't really break my heart if we were to come across and around this way, right? We can maybe cut the hill off a little bit there, but... And then we somehow, one way or the other, get into over here. And again, that kind of opens up this whole big flat area to do something with it. And then the question is, we might want to hook up to this Molina, right? Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that's not a bad idea. Like, that's sort of... If we wanted to export some things, not everything would have to go this way. And then the question would be, yeah, now it's kind of part of the loop that way too, isn't it? So the other idea would be that we bring it in this way. Maybe we can do both. Some trains could go, like, this doesn't have to be 2 tracks, right? This could be specific tracks for each train that has a certain purpose. Obviously, we wouldn't build tracks for, no reason, but I don't want to delete that rail by accident with my bulldoze tool. So does that make sense that we could maybe, you know, join up with this tunnel at that point? And that, but we've created this big, huge loop all the way around. And the main purpose of 2 of the tracks, at least, that would be on that loop would be just to distribute food to these places that the trucks would then pick it up and take it the rest of the way. So the next one in the loop, yeah, we'd probably definitely want to talk about a distribution over. Oh, no, we have the distribution here. So this is where we debate, do we go through these tunnels or do we go up over this way? Because we want a distribution over here by the old Revergrad. And then the loop would then just follow this straight line. You know, distribution here, again, taken out by trucks. Another distribution, well, we already have it half built or 3/4 built. And then that loop would come back over to here, or it would cut through here, right? And pick up on this tunnel. And I don't want 70 million trains going through the tunnel, but you know, as long as it shouldn't be that big a deal to get trains in and out of there. Because the only other trains I'm really planning on, besides the distribution supply trains like food and all that stuff, you know, I'm planning on this crops here taking. That's going to be a lot of trains going back and forth in there. And heck, you know what? We could build more tunnels, right? Tunnels take a while, but so there you go. So I just wanted to go over that because I know there seems to be some overall questions, not questioning me, of course, like who would ever do that, right? Because I am the supreme leader of our Rever stand, but you know, I hope that, you know, alleviates some thoughts and concerns as to what I'm going towards with all of this. What did I click on? All right, so now let's do one last loop through. Yeah, good. These guys got done a lot more of this stuff. We got a few minutes, so we'll just finish out the episode by me going through each of the construction offices. We'll look for a couple problems, but we got some planning done. Yeah, I just want to make sure, yeah, like things like this. Yeah, I want to get all of this stuff done. Oh, you know what? We had a little paving there. Not paving, but let's go over here and get another. You know what, I'm going to do 2 of them here. Really should probably do 2 here, huh? Yeah. What I'm thinking of is, why don't we... You know, we're going to want to get people semi-efficiently through that. I don't want to make these into too many separate jobs, but that'll give... Oops. Construction crew here. Oops, commit. Okay, I can accept that. Why don't you do this one, and this one, and this one then? You're already doing that one. And these are just little gravel jobs, so let's see. Yeah, little guys like that. That's the bugger-boos. Like, yeah, is that a... No, you don't connect yet? Really? Do you just not connect at all, or you... There you go. That's the problem. There we go. That's more than he should probably have assigned. All right, so that's that one. And then let's see. How are you doing over here? Yeah, you still have plenty of work because he's got the technical university. That's going to be a long-term project. Probably shouldn't have him doing that just quite yet. But we're not really ready with all the rail anyway and all that stuff. Speaking of rail, how are we doing here? Do we have any jam-ups? No, you seem to be moving. Well, okay, why are you red? Because it's red both ways here. Is that because people are working? Why is it... Now this is green, but it's red. Oh, you know what? We don't have a signal here. Yeah, so it's feeding back from this guy. Okay. All right, well, very good. Yeah, see, so like this track could be electrified now. as a project. But I'm not going to get into all the electrification until I get a lot more of the paving done. Then we'll worry about going around. But at least this guy seems to be working. How about our bridge builders? You're taking forever and a day to do this bridge here. I'm a little disappointed in you. But maybe it's because you have those other projects you're trying to work on too. How about you? Do you get anything done? You're getting closer. How about you? Have you gotten anything done? No, you're making progress. We need to commit to these rails. Do we have any roads that are outstanding? Yep, it would appear so. How about... No. No. Okay, should be it. All right, good. So they're working. How about you? Are you guys still making your ever... See, oh, you know what we need to remember? Yeah, how is our bitumen doing? Yeah, we're still pretty good. I'd rather just have the money coming in, right? Yeah, we're not even full of oil here, so we're using good amount of fuel, good amount of bitumen. And, as you know, if we can use as much fuel as bitumen, then this guy we could shut him down entirely. We got a food train here. Yeah, Kameen, I remember you. Come over here once in a while and, oh, look at this. Why did they stop? Oh, you know what? Because I think, I don't know. When you go to different types of track, they don't like that, right? So I think what happens here is that because I switched this, I don't know. Why would you stop? Oh, because we messed with the construction. There we go. Right? As soon as I broke track and redid this, it probably broke their construction. Okay, good. Well, that's why we check things, right? And how's old Revergrad doing? Do we see any... we don't seem to have any issues here. It's one thing about the game. The things that do work, you know, it looks at first like a nightmare of micromanaging, but it's really, if you're not OCD, it's fine. It's the same thing with like city skylines and the car traffic, right? Like you could go insane in city skylines worrying about the car traffic if you really want to. Or you can just go, you know what, I'm going to have traffic jams sometimes, let's move forward. And that's very similar with this game. So, okay, so what are we doing? Distribution. Okay, so for some reason... and again, this might have been because we switched rail type. Oh, no, because we got done that. Wonderful. Yeah, you know what? Do the more painful, shorter one. Yeah, so he got done as far as he would. Like he's not smart enough to figure, well, let me come back and do the other side of the rail station. That's fine. We'll get that done. And then, we'll get that done. One more thing, right? One more thing on the rather large list. Let's go over back to here, just to do things in order. Went too far. I always kind of go too far. Yeah, look, there we go. Przink North is mostly a road paving crew. And that means we need to come in here. Yep, took to that. No, you're all hooked up. Very good. We want to give you more. Somebody else is already here? No. That's a pretty big one. We'll give you that one. Yeah, who's over here? Yeah, we might as well open up Hegiodal while we're doing this. So this is done. Oh, good. We got a bunch more buildings we can get to. What's the story? This has to come through here, which is being held up by... Not held up, but being worked on by Hegiodal. Can we get to... No, we can't get to this. Once we get past these couple, we can work our way up into here. Yeah, I think we're all done this bottom side. Again, the not nightmare, but the... you know what? Yeah, this is already built. What is this? Oh, we need to get this one built. Very good. All right. Yeah, so we're... Oh, you know what? Is that a road here not built? Oh, we're already working on that. That's connected. Yeah, so we're in pretty good shape. Let's close these two. They don't have a lot of work, but it's good. We're getting there. Now, what I do plan on doing is moving these guys eventually. And the reason that I haven't... No, over here. Keep going too far. The reason I haven't is because they are close to the supplies here, so I didn't really want to yank them out of here. But eventually, I think I'm going to move them up into here, because we have this office. You know, so once they get done the paving over here, and get most of this out of the way, then I'll move them over so we can start focusing on more stuff over here. We might even try to convert people from just a paving crew to something else, but we need to get... This is a lot of building, if you guys haven't noticed. And kind of one last thing to mention is in the next episodes... Now what are we doing? Is it just a long stretch? No, we're doing... Yeah, this is... Let's come here. Really? You won't open? So this was... Where is this one? Yep, exactly where I... then I closed. Well, I can reopen it. Yeah, so that should make him disappear. It's nice when they're actually assigned a thing. But I definitely want to keep this one getting worked on. There you go. Because once we get past... You know... Once we get like into this one pretty good, I can put a crossing here, get that going. I think I already said that, so I won't say it too many more times. All right. Yeah. All right, so how are we doing over here? Okay, we're all the way over to this. Good. And we do have 4 things assigned. Yeah, so as long as you have 4 assigned, I'll accept that as good. And we just made sure, yeah, you have enough to work on. We didn't look at Hegiodal, did we? Oh, yes, we did, because they were down there working. Source of workers is empty. Yeah. I feel you. Yep, you're still plugging away. But you know what? I think I'm going to take you off of this and this. So we're just going to have him working on this bridge until it gets done. Right? Because he's just taking too long to get that bridge done. And then what we can do is, let's go back over to here. And these guys are more prepared to do this anyway. So I think it would be probably this and this. Yeah. These guys are going to be better at working on the regular houses. Yeah, so there we go. I think we're over an hour here, but we've, you know, gotten a bunch more done. And, you know, we haven't built a bit of a steel mill yet, but we're pushing our construction things forward with getting more construction supplies and rail capabilities here, and same thing down the other end. And in the meantime, we're just, you know, we're making pretty good progress over here, especially with the roads being done. And 2 construction crews. Oh, one last thing to check. How are we doing? Because this is something to drive home to you guys, because I've only said it 27 times so far in the series. We're down to 426 steel here, which could just be an issue of getting it over here fast enough. But remember, I put 4 mechanisms in here. So that's good. They're going to be using steel quicker here, which means... And then the only other thing to check on, did this guy... How is his steel doing? Oh, we're doing really well with steel here. So we're in good shape. Maybe we'll even have a train waiting here. But that would mean we'll get this guy up here. He'll start using more steel. Yeah, and I think some of the reason we're backing up with steel a little bit is just because of all the fiascos I've had here. So anyway. All right, guys. Well, the episode's long enough. I hope you have enjoyed it, as always. And we will be back to do more constructing and maybe some planning of some houses over here. I'm thinking might be the next episode, just because we want to get some people to be able to work in our coal distribution area sometime. And that will, then we also need to get people to work in our bakery, and these few houses will be a step towards that. But you know, like I said, I kind of want to see how this starts to work out. But we're getting real close to being able to move some people in. So, if not the next episode, sometime soon, we'll get back over here to Neuve Revergrad and start building. All right, guys. Again, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.